Humans have been battling viruses since before our species had even evolved into its modern form. For some viral diseases, vaccines and antiviral drugs have allowed us to keep infections from spreading widely and have helped sick people recover. If we talk about today's era, we see everyone talking about coronavirus everywhere. Almost every country is affected by COVID-19, and on an average, 3.8 million people have lost their life through this. But you know what is shocking? Around 7 million people dies because of normal flu everywhere, and none of us give any attention to it. Well, in today's video we're going to talk about top 10 more dangerous virus than COVID-19, so without any further ado, let's start it.
Number 10.
Marburg virus. Scientists identified Marburg virus in 1967, when small outbreaks occurred among lab workers in Germany who were exposed to infected monkeys imported from Uganda. Marburg virus is similar to Ebola, in that both can cause hemorrhagic fever, meaning that infected people develop high fevers and bleeding throughout the body that can lead to shock, organ failure and death. The mortality rate in the first outbreak was 25%, but it was more than 80% in the 1998 to 2000 outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, as well as in the 2005 outbreak in Angola. According to the World Health Organization, it was more dangerous than coronavirus but was not given so much attention because it was not released intentionally. You know what I mean?
Number 9.
Smallpox. In 1980, the World Health Assembly declared the world free of smallpox. But before that, humans battled smallpox for thousands of years, and the disease killed about 1 in 3 of those it infected. It left survivors with deep, permanent scars and, often, blindness. Mortality rates were far higher in populations outside of Europe, where people had little contact with the virus before visitors brought it to their regions. For example, historians estimate 90% of the native population of the Americas died from smallpox introduced by European explorers. In the 20th century alone, smallpox killed 300 million people. It was something that had a huge burden on the planet, not just death but also blindness, and that's what spurred the campaign to eradicate from the earth, DEADLIER said. Do you still think coronavirus is so fatal? Well, it's your opinion, and I am not encouraging you to not take precautions.
Number 8. Hantavirus. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS, first gained wide attention in the U.S. in 1993, when a healthy, young Navajo man and his fiancée living in the Four Corners area of the United States died within days of developing shortness of breath. A few months later, health authorities isolated hantavirus from a deer mouse living in the home of one of the infected people. More than 600 people in the U.S. have now contracted HPS, and 36% have died from the disease, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The virus is not transmitted from one person to another, rather, people contract the disease from exposure to the droppings of infected mice. Previously, a different hantavirus caused an outbreak in the early 1950s, during the Korean War, according to a 2010 paper in the journal Clinical Microbiology Reviews. More than 3,000 troops became infected, and about 12% of them died. While the virus was new to Western medicine when it was discovered in the U.S., researchers realized later that Navajo medical traditions describe a similar illness, and linked the disease to mice. Number 7.
Rotavirus. 2 vaccines are now available to protect children from rotavirus, the leading cause of severe diarrheal illness among babies and young children. The virus can spread rapidly through what researchers call the fecal-oral route, meaning that small particles of feces end up being consumed. Although children in the developed world rarely die from rotavirus infection, the disease is a killer in the developing world, where rehydration treatments are not widely available.
The WHO estimates that worldwide, 453,000 children younger than age 5 died from rotavirus infection in 2008.
But countries that have introduced the vaccine have reported sharp declines in rotavirus hospitalizations and deaths.
Number 6.
The virus that causes severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, first appeared in 2002 in the Guangdong province of southern China, according to the WHO. The virus likely emerged in bats initially, then hopped into nocturnal mammals called civets before finally infecting humans. After triggering an outbreak in China, SARS spread to 26 countries around the world, infecting more than 8,000 people and killing more than 770 over the course of 2 years. The disease causes fever, chills and body aches, and often progresses to pneumonia, a severe condition in which the lungs become inflamed and fill with pus. SARS has an estimated mortality rate of 9.6% and as of yet, has no approved treatment or vaccine. However, no new cases of SARS have been reported since the early 2000s, according to the CDC.
Number 5.
Ebola. Right now, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is fighting the world's second largest Ebola epidemic on record. As of this writing, 2,249 people have died and 3,432 have been infected since the outbreak was declared in August 2018, according to the WHO. Ebola is rare, but it has a high mortality rate of about 50%, although that rate has ranged from 25% to 90% in past outbreaks. The 2014 to 2016 outbreak in West Africa was the largest Ebola epidemic to occur. 28,610 people were infected and 11,308 died. No proven treatment has been able to stop the virus, but a number of blood, immunological, and drug therapies are in development. Experimental vaccines have been shown to help control the spread of Ebola outbreaks in Guinea and in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Number 4.
Influenza. While COVID-19 has caused a great deal of fear and concern, there's a more widespread and more deadly virus going around: the flu. Worldwide, the flu causes about 3 to 5 million cases of severe illness and about 290,000 to 650,000 deaths each year, according to the latest estimate. In the United States, at least 22 million people have gotten the flu in the 2019 to 2020 season so far, and 12,000 have died from it, including at least 78 children, according to the most recent report from the CDC. Experts says, which virus truly is a threat? It is the one we are all familiar with and one people tend to not be afraid of.
Number 3.
SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2 belongs to the same large family of viruses as SARS-CoV, known as coronaviruses, and was first identified in December 2019 in the Chinese city of Wuhan. The virus likely originated in bats, like SARS-CoV, and passed through an intermediate animal before infecting people. Since its appearance, the virus has infected tens of thousands of people in China and thousands of others worldwide. The ongoing outbreak prompted an extensive quarantine of Wuhan and nearby cities, restrictions on travel to and from affected countries, and a worldwide effort to develop diagnostics, treatments, and vaccines.
Number 2.
SARS-CoV. The virus that causes severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, first appeared in 2002 in the Guangdong province of southern China, according to the WHO. The virus likely emerged in bats initially, then hopped into nocturnal mammals called civets before finally infecting humans. After triggering an outbreak in China, SARS spread to 26 countries around the world, infecting more than 8,000 people and killing more than 770 over the course of 2 years. The disease causes fever, chills, and body aches, and often progresses to pneumonia, a severe condition in which the lungs become inflamed and fill with pus. SARS has an estimated mortality rate of 9.6% and as of yet, has no approved treatment or vaccine. However, no new cases of SARS have been reported since the early 2000s, according to the CDC. As till now you have known, there are other viruses out there that are equally deadly, and some that are even deadlier. Some viruses, including the novel coronavirus currently driving outbreaks around the globe, have lower fatality rates, but still pose a serious threat to public health as we don't yet have the means to combat them, and also other viruses were not intentionally created like as coronavirus. Now let's talk about the virus, which in my opinion is more dangerous than coronavirus.
Number 1.
MERS. COVID-19 isn't the only coronavirus in town these days. Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS, is caused by a rare but deadly coronavirus mostly found in Saudi Arabia. Since it was first identified in 2012, MERS has infected 2,499 people and caused 861 deaths globally, according to the WHO. Clearly, that's just a fraction of the numbers reported for COVID-19, but the difference is in the mortality rate. MERS has had a mortality rate as high as 37.2% compared with the current estimated mortality rate of 2% to 3% for COVID-19. Like COVID-19 infection from MERS coronavirus, mers-cov shows symptoms of fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Unlike COVID-19, mers-cov infection often stems from camels. Although most human cases of mers-cov infections have been attributed to human-to-human infections in healthcare settings, current scientific evidence suggests that dromedary camels are a major reservoir host for mers-cov and an animal source of MERS infection in humans, the WHO warned. No vaccine or specific treatment is currently available for mers-cov, but some are in development. However, in my opinion, our body alone is too powerful to fight any kind of virus, What you think about it, let us know in the comment section below, and guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will see you in another video.